Hi, welcome to another episode of Dana and Dad. I'm Dana Sanders, author of A Leg with Shadow and Shadow Beginnings. Talking to my dad today, and he never knows what I'm going to ask. So,
That's true.
so my question today for him is: you were an actor for a lot of years,
Yeah,
and so I know you've worked on film, TV, and stage.
yeah,
A lot of extra parts.
yeah,
So I know you've done some work on, I think you did an extra part on Serpico. That was with Al Pacino, or who was
yeah.
that?
Al
Okay.
Pacino, yeah.
What part was that?
I was an extra in a crowd scene coming out of the subway in Greenwich Village. I think, if I remember correctly, it was supposed to be sometime in the winter because there was snow on the ground, and well, they put snow on the ground, and if I remember, I was wearing sort of a white winter coat with a very large collar, and it was fun. It was
So I know you were also an extra in that movie, The Warriors.
yeah,
For those who don't know, that was, I guess, in the 70s or early
yeah,
80s. And it was about a gang called the Warriors. And I think something happened to the king of the gangs of New York, something about him getting killed, and they blamed the Warriors for it. And the
yeah.
Warriors had to fight all night to get to
Get back home,
get back home
which was
from Brooklyn or something
Brooklyn.
like that.
Yeah,
And so I know the scene you were in, I believe, was close to the end where all the gangs were in the Central Park, or it was filmed at night.
it was filmed at night, and it was at a park on Riverside Drive in New York. Not Central, but Riverside Drive. In the 70s. I think it was in the 70s, I remember the streets around 75th Street and Riverside Drive in the park area.
Yeah, I watched that. Couldn't find you. I'm surprised anybody could be seen in that
Yeah, it was
that scene.
a big scene with
I
a lot
also,
of people.
yeah, a lot of people at night. And then I also Claudine with Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Now I did see you there,
Yeah.
kind of. You were in the close to the end of the movie when they spilled out. The fight broke out in the courthouse, I
Yeah,
think.
and it broke out. The fight broke out in the apartment that they were getting married in. And the cops came in and tried to arrest the son, which was, his name was Lawrence Hilton Jacobs.
Oh yeah, he was on Welcome Back, Kotter. I remember.
Yeah.
And everybody spills out into the street. So I remember seeing you. I was like, you're right there. But the one that I can, and anybody can see you the most in, is Death Wish, the original Death Wish.
Yeah.
With Charles Bronson.
Right.
And
right.
I think it was Jeff Goldblum's first movie credit.
Yeah, it was.
And for those who don't know, that was the scene where Jeff Goldblum and his buddies are wreaking havoc in the supermarket, tossing stuff, and they're following Charles Bronson's wife and daughter as they're shopping.
Yeah.
And when they get to the cashier, who I think was on the electric company, she looked like she was on the electric company.
Yeah,
not the electric company, Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And they get to the cashier, and the security guard comes up to one of the guys and gives him the stern look.
Yeah.
That's
that was
my
me.
dad.
That was me.
That's you. You can really see him there.
Yeah.
So I know the other stuff you've done is, did you work on The Me Nobody Knows as an extra? I remember we had the album. That was Irving Cara was in that play as a child. And I don't know if you were in that one. The Me Nobody Knows?
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't in that one. No.
What was the other one you were in then?
Let's see. It was Death Wish, James Earl Jones, one with Diane Carroll. My goodness, I was in so many of them.
I know you had some pictures laying around with you on the stage. So my question for you is, what's the difference between Well, before I get to that, I know on TV you had done. I remember something about the a soap opera called The Edge of Night.
Yeah.
That used to come on, I think, before All My Children, and it didn't last long. So, but that was one of his TV credits.
Yeah.
So, what's the difference between working on being an extra on film versus being an extra on TV versus being on stage?
The difference, there's very little difference between the two, the TV and the film, except for TV, or you're in a closed environment. On film, you are on the street. They house us in buses and called us when the scene is set up, and by the ADs, assistant directors, so to speak, and they'll call us from the bus, and everybody will run over to the area where the scene is supposed to be done, and set us up for whatever actions that they deem necessary for that particular scene. And it's a heck of an experience just to be on a set and in film and on TV. But on TV, the difference is that when you have what they call lines, which I didn't get, they call them those lines under 5. You get under 5 lines. You are there early in the morning and rehearsing the scenes up until time for you to have lunch, have lunch, and then do the performance, live performance. And it's a heck of an experience that you have just watching when you're there and watching what goes on and learning how things are being done, how film is made, how plays are made, and how a program that's such as The Edge of Night is made. People, they work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that on stage too, there's no such thing as cut. I mean, you just have to
keep going. Yeah.
So that's a disadvantage. But I think from what I've seen of the really good actors and actresses seem to start on stage.
Yeah.
And then they can go from stage, you can go to movies or film.
Yeah.
And I think they're the best ones. Someone once said there are actors and actresses and then there are movie stars, and that's so true.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Because you can tell the difference a lot of times.
Oh, definitely.
People like Angela Bassett and Viola Davis started on stage, if I'm not correct. And other people are just movie stars.
Yeah.
So, no real training, no...
Yeah, well, yeah, which is, you're right about that. And it's fun to recognize that, to see someone that you've worked with, such as James Earl Jones, to see him do a play after working with him, or being in the same film with him, as he progressed from doing film and then doing theater in the play such as The Great White Hope, which I went to see several times. I just admired the man so much. It's the same as with Sidney Poitier. I admired him, and other actors I admire that. At the time when I was working with films, or being in films and doing extra work there, it was great to see them.
Yeah, and some of them even as big movie stars like Denzel and Viola, they went back to theater.
Yeah.
I think they did Fences, and they did the movie version, and she won for that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them, I get for me, it's they're not too big to go back to theater.
No.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to see them, and once you do theater, that's your roots, and it's like air. It's like breathing air. You know, when you do theater and then go from theater to film, you have such a extensive background, emotional background that you can draw upon. It's fun.
Yeah.
It gets to be fun.
Yeah, my closest to theater is Hamilton. I've watched that a couple of times on Disney, and how they do the sets and have to remember their lines, and they sang or rapped or all the lines.
Yeah.
So I thought about maybe I'll be an actress one day when I was younger, but I thought no, I couldn't do that. Well, thanks for joining us on Dana and Dad episode 2, and I hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.